So welcome to our 2023 Annual Asian Heritage Day celebration at City Hall. We're very, very honored that all of you could join us tonight. Tonight, we have many cabinet members, new chiefs, new directors, new commissioners, and commanders. They all are here tonight just to meet all of you. So tonight, the reason why you're sitting at a sign table is I want you to make a new friend. All of us at City Hall, we want to know all of you because you are the reason why we're here, to service you and to take care of you. With that said, I'm going to introduce my colleague, Ariel Flores. He's going to sing the national anthem. So please stand.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Ariel. Now it gives me the greatest pleasure to introduce my mentor, who's going to be our keynote speaker tonight, Kenneth Kovash. Ken, would you please come up?
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I understand sometimes the acoustics in this rotunda are not the best. However, I hope that you can understand everything that I say. I hope I have a message for you this evening as we complete this month of remembering Asian heritage. When I was asked to make a presentation, about a month ago, the International Community Council had a program called The World in Your Backyard, and the theme was The American Dream Revisited. It seems like a lot of people are talking about the American dream. So my remarks tonight are about the American dream, what it means to be an American, and resilience. I think the single word that sums up these past years living in a global pandemic is resilience. Resilience allows us to bounce back from obstacles and from difficulties. Immigrants, both documented and undocumented, are powerful examples of resilience and grit. Grit built from years even decades of plowing through setbacks, disappointments, and hurt. And now they steadily, quietly, and unglamorously power our economy back to life. Their resilience rebuilds America. They deserve citizenship from a grateful nation. Somewhere between 1,800 and 220,000 European refugees immigrated to the United States between 1933 and 1945. That's when my grandparents came to America from Hungary on my father's side and from what are Carpatho-Russian areas on my mother's side. Immigrating to the United States has been and is a complicated, expensive process, even under the best of circumstances. And many of you know this personally. While we are entitled to express our outrage at the current treatment of immigrants and refugees, our focus on the present must not blind us to America's history of immigration restriction over the past century and a half. Wrapping ourselves in metaphors and allegories of melting pots and statues of liberty, one, we have paid too little attention to the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882, which prohibited the immigration of Chinese laborers, skilled and unskilled, to the 1924 Immigration Act, which entirely shut off immigration from Asia and severely limited from Eastern and Southern Europe, and to the 1965 Immigration Act, which removed the restrictions on European and Asian immigration, but placed new and severe numerical limits on immigration from the Western Hemisphere. In the past, and even today, immigrants have been given labels by those who seek to dehumanize them: aliens, illegals, yellow peril, DPs, redskins. And not too long ago I heard, these aren't people, these are animals. Throughout history, groups have formed against immigrants in the name of a false sense of American identity or patriotism. We need a country where there is less hate, one where we are able to bring people together and to be more considerate of everyone's circumstances. Immigrants are not here to steal jobs, education, or to add to these countries' problems. They come here starting from scratch in search of job security or education that will help them to get on their feet. As a native-born American, we should know more about the full story of our immigrant experiences. We should know that we are not different because of where we come from, but rather why we are here: to seek a better life and the equal opportunities that lead to happiness and peace. Bottom line, we come here to experience the American dream. If we could all come to realize this, maybe this country would be a lot stronger as we all work together on improving it. So what does it mean to be an American? How do we promote a shared sense of national identity in an age of great demographic flux and severe inequality? We are living through a period of radical concentration of wealth and opportunity in the United States. This severe inequality undermines democracy and erodes the spirit of common cause, mutual responsibility, and reciprocity, which are vital to a republic. We are living in a time when this country has never more been more diverse and polarized, and when its role in the world is rapidly shifting. The question of what it means to be American and how we create a sustainable story of us is of prime consequence. This severe fragmentation of American society, again, is a direct threat to our democracy. So to promote cohesion, we must more deeply examine the multiple narratives that define the American story in order to forge greater consensus around the contours of American identity. We are in a moment when the fundamentals of American identity are hotly debated. On one level, American identity is based on our founding ideals, universal principles of equality and liberty. On another level, American identity has always been understood in particular racial, ethnic, and religious experiences. The gap in interpretations of American identity has widened the severe inequality and dramatic demographic and technological shifts and are remaking our society. In the context of divisive culture wars, polarized political debate, and a reckoning with our history of racial injustice, two distinct sides are increasingly trying to superimpose their vision of America on the other. Such an outcome would neither serve the ideals of our nation nor the interests of the American people. I believe as Americans, we should embrace the many identities that we have and to recognize that different identities can be experienced at once. Through exploring and articulating the omnicultural story of America, we believe that we can help to equip ourselves with the language, the common understandings, and the mutual respect for difference that will enable us to develop a shared narrative of what it means to be an American. Once again, falsehoods are being used to stoke fear of immigrants. Those Jewish survivors who sought entrance to this nation after World War II were not anti-American, anti-democratic, or communist sympathizers or operatives, though many were barred from entry on the false charges that they were. The Chinese laborers who were banned from entering the country from 1882 until 1943 posed no threat to American women, values, economic prosperity, or democracy. Those who seek to enter this country in the year 2023 are not gang members or criminals or terrorists. They will not take away the jobs of those already resident in this country. And there is no evidence that once admitted, they will infect the American people with all kinds of diseases. What we needed as a nation and as a people at the end of World War II and what we require today is a comprehensive immigration policy, not based on political expediency and falsehood, but on humanitarian concerns and the recognition that this is, has been, and should ever remain a nation of immigrants. I share my thoughts with you because I see immigrants contributing to our country every day. In their relentless pursuit of the American dream, they strengthen that dream for every American. And Americans do agree, according to surveys, support for immigration has soared to historic heights. For the first time since polls were conducted in 1965, Americans want more, not less immigration. This sentiment is more likely attributable to the fact that for the past number of years, COVID forced Americans apart, but brought them closer together to immigrants and the enormous contributions they make every day. 70% of immigrants work in a field classified as essential. Refugees and immigrants risk their lives processing and packaging meat in factories that spread COVID at alarming rates. Undocumented workers today pick the crops we eat, saute the food at our favorite restaurants, and deliver them safely to our doors. They work as frontline medical workers and in supermarkets. Over half of the technology gadgets we have, at least one has an immigrant inventor. Immigrants and their children have played key roles in helping develop two highly effective vaccines. From the technology we rely on to caring for the sick, the food we eat, and the vaccines distributed across the country, immigrants continue to do a lion's share of the work to keep Americans well-fed and alive, and may eventually restore us to some semblance of normalcy. Every year, we hope for immigration solutions. Immigrants were the front line of our pandemic recovery. They were the foot soldiers. They put one foot in front of the other again and again and again, and even when in fear and in pain and while sick. That's resilience. That's grit. That's toughness. I hope that these people who have not become citizens will become sooner but not later, because America will be stronger, wiser, and more prosperous for that. In my work with the International Community Council, we are exploring how Americans form from a multitude of backgrounds are really grappling now with the question of what it means to be an American today, and ultimately how this impacts the way American democracy functions. We have a working hypothesis that a new American identity may be, as I said before, omnicultural, neither monocultural nor multicultural, but a transcendent synthesis, so a lot of things going on at the same time. Through our World in the Backyard, in Your Backyard program, we are engaging with Americans from different geographies, ideologies, ethnicities, and regions to unearth answers to the questions of who we are collectively as Americans. With this input, we will make actionable recommendations in terms of values, processes, and skills that will help put a more inclusive American identity into practice in a range of contexts and institutions. By articulating an inclusive sense of what it means to be an American, again, by articulating an inclusive sense of what it means to be an American and a vision of our collective future, we can in turn enhance the quality of our democratic life. Thank you so much.
I hope all of you was motivated by that speech. And tonight, think about what does it mean to be an American. I'm so privileged to really have someone like Ken as my mentor. For those of you that do not know him, you should get to know him. He's too humble to tell you he's the recipient of the Ellis Island Award. So that speech wasn't just a speech, it was from his heart. Now, allow me to introduce you my director, Angela Hsu Woodson. She's going to present certificates to the volunteers we have had over the years for our monthly food program. For those of you that do not know, again, I'm very privileged. I know so many people, but at the end of the day, it is the people that help me get the job done. Our monthly food program started in December of 2017. By February, it was one of the coldest days on record, but all my volunteers came and helped me. These people have been helping me for nearly 6 years, every month, delivering food to our seniors and our refugees. So it's with the greatest pleasure to have my director to present certificate to some of my volunteers. Angela, would you please come up? Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, let me bring an official greeting on behalf of our mayor, Justin Mbibb, and in his absence, it's always a pleasure to host every Heritage Month, because culture is very important to this administration. So anytime we can open our doors here in the Rotunda at City Hall, it is our pleasure and participate in the activities. I also want to recognize my colleagues in the cabinet. So there are several of them in the audience, and I don't want to miss anyone. If everybody from the mayor's cabinet would please stand, all chiefs and directors, so everyone could see the support that they have here this evening. So as I tell people, I wear a title, but my title doesn't matter when I'm in this role because I kind of do what I'm told. So Chai has done a very good job of instructing me of what I'm supposed to do this evening, and I'm going to adhere to that. So I first would like to call up Mohammed Abadirham, if he would come forward first. Is he here? Slide. Or maybe you hold the Chai. Okay. Because they're in my You want pictures now with them or afterwards? You doing it then? Okay. Next, can we have Zing Yan Dai? She's gonna get it in the hand.
She cannot make it.
She not here? Okay.
Last minute.
So,
Yes.
Winley Fuller. Ruby Ing. Nathan Gibbon? Gibeon.
Stay on this side, okay? That's a good photo. I don't know if Jeremiah is here, but we'll call him.
Okay. Is Jeremiah Greathouse here? No? Okay. Okay. We'll hold it.
Tony is here.
Tony Louis?
Everybody loves Tony. I don't know how to sing him.
Ron Nelson? Marcia Nolan.
Karis just got here.
Who's that?
Karis.
Cass.
No, she's not here.
Oh, she's not here? Okay.
Karis should be next.
Lisa. Lisa Wong.
Is it on the table?
Okay. This is one. Heinz is here.
That's the same thing.
Heinz.
Heinz. Heinz Yi.
That's the one that's really, I haven't seen him. Okay.
And if we could give a round of applause to all of the volunteers who've been so gracious to help.
This is what makes the city great, is people like them, every month on their own time to help deliver food to our seniors and refugees. Please give them a round of applause.
Just make sure, can we come in front of the
Front
podium?
of the podium?
Nice and
Okay.
close.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, April. Now, tonight we are privileged to have 3 different dance performances. So may I have the team lead from the Waist Drum Dance Group come up and introduce your team members and the dance that you guys going to be performing, please?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are Cleveland Glory Waist Drum Team, led by Yan Yan Li, Karen Ni, and Yan Liang. It's our great pleasure to join all of you tonight to celebrate the Asian Heritage Month. We will perform 2 dances. The first dance is Happy Drum Dance, choreographed by Jun Yang. The history of Waist Drum dates back several thousand years in China. They were first used by military to boost the morale of troops and to celebrate defeat of enemies. As time passed, the drum performance gradually become folkloric dance for people to celebrate major holiday such as Spring Festival. Please welcome the dancers. The second dance is Joyful Nadam, choreographed by Yan Wang. The Nadam is a carnival event on Mongolia Grand Prairie. It reflects Mongolia people's hunting and nomadic lifestyle and enthusiastic pursuit of happiness. The dance movement expresses the dancers' love for the prairie and the nature. By imitating running horses and flying geese, please enjoy.
Wasn't that marvelous? Now I will be calling up the Nepalese dancers. However, let me brag for a quick second, because one of the dancers, she actually made it to the final international dance contest. She was the second place dancer. So let me have Ganesh come up and introduce them. Ganesh? Ganesh? Wait a minute, okay. He's going to come up and introduce our next dancers.
Hi everyone. First of all, namaste. Well, I myself feel glad to be here today to introduce our cultural dance and ourselves in behalf of all Bhutanese community who resides on Greater Cleveland. Our history of struggle starts since 90s when the fourth king of Bhutan, the Jigme Singme Wangchuk, who started to suppress the Nepalese-speaking Bhutanese community who resides on southern belt of Bhutan, and they suppressed for our culture, our language, and all the Nepali-speaking Bhutanese. They raped, they murdered, and they hanged our people, and they forced us to flee from Bhutan, and we flee towards Nepal and resides as a refugee for 20 more years, and we get opportunity to get resettled and start our new life here in America with the help of IOM and US government and other Western countries. So we are really blessed and grateful to be here to continue and preserve our language, our culture, and today the proudly Miss Ayesha Samal, who is one of the mixed generation who get affected through this tortured, murdered, and due to suppression of Bhutan's government, and now proudly residing on America and preserving her own Nepali language and Nepali culture. Today, the dance, whatever she is going to present, represents our own culture, which is combination of folk, Nepali, song, and Kauda. I hope you enjoy and also be part of this preservation and our struggle. Thank you.
it's a good thing I was listening. I heard the music stopped. No, now we have our third performance, and I'm going to call Shobha. Shobha, would you please come up and introduce your dancers and the performance, please?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste from India. My name is Shobha Narayan, and I am the Artistic Director of Nritya Geetanjali School of Dance, which specializes in Bharatanatyam, which is the oldest among classical dance forms of India, dating back over 2,000 years. Today, we're very happy to share a part of our rich cultural heritage in which music and dance plays an integral part. I would first like to thank the Asian Committee for having given us this opportunity, and we hope that you will enjoy the presentation that we have for you this evening. We have 2 items that we will be performing. My senior students, Anaya Daryapurkar, Nandini Agrawal, and Nandana Ahuja, will first perform a fusion item. I'm sure most of you would be familiar with the song The Shape of You by Ed Sheeran. This is an Indian adaptation of the same. The song is a fusion song, but it goes to show how adaptable Bharatanatyam can be to any other form of music without compromising on the aesthetics of this beautiful art form. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will begin with The Shape of You fusion.
Now, could we all give all the dancers a big round of applause, please? We have one more. All right, encore.
I'm sorry, I don't know if you're all getting hungry. We have just one more piece. The next piece is a very, very traditional piece called the Tilana, which tests the endurance and also the rhythmic capabilities of the dancers. This Tilana normally serves as a crown to the end of a Bharatanatyam recital. Today's Tilana is in praise of Lord Krishna, and it talks about the divine music emanating from his flute. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoy this presentation of the Tilana, and we hope you enjoyed our presentation as much as we enjoyed putting it together for you. Thank you very much.
what makes Cleveland, Cleveland. Not just the volunteers, our dancers. We are home to over 100 different ethnicities. And this is only a tiny sliver what we have watched tonight. Now, the performance is over, and this is the best part. This is the part we all get to break bread together and make a new friend. So I'm just going to call each table by number. If you could just line up over there. And even though oh, wait a minute, you know what? Time out. I almost forgot. I have 3 volunteers that we did not give this certificates to. So I'm going to have my director come up again, and so we may present the certificates to before we serve dinner, okay?
I told you I'm good at taking directions. So can Ron Nelson come up? Ivan Ho. Ivan, come back. And Kairos Zing.
Yes, these are the people that make the city great.